The coalitions are vital to making these larger efforts work.
We've got everything from a couple of master gardeners who can guide us on what should be planted, when it should be planted. We have nutritionists that will guide us.
The people on our council are all very passionate about what we're doing. They're also very connected within the community, and they know a lot of people.
It evolves, and who's working with the committee or who joins our committee, they bring a special expertise in their own fields.
I think one of the things that help keep our stakeholders and our volunteers engaged is we do a noon meeting. So people bring their lunch and we sit around the table and we're able to engage the stakeholders, get their information, gather our resources, but really not take a lot of time away from them. So I think that has helped us be successful as well.
We were able to identify different people who represent different parts of our society. And we really went out of our way to try to find not only professionals, but also everyday folks.
The Voices for Food project was part of a kit that was put together to help other states implement this type of work. And one of the pieces of that project was to identify a community champion. That was a person that was supposed to kind of coordinate your council members and collaborate. And I think you want your champion to be someone who is connected in the community and knows the community.
To get a community involved, it helps to talk to people, reach out, be welcoming.
I think a lot of people want to help. A lot of people want to be involved in something, and the continually celebrating those successes and providing feedback to that impact is it just keeps snowballing that effort.
If you're able to get people involved at the point where they can actually see the finished product, food getting to somebody that needs it, that's what brings me back every year.
Our biggest collaboration is with the Community Health Center. We turned them into a hub that gave gardeners opportunity to drop off produce 5 days a week from 8 to 5. It was always open, always available.
We are a drop-off site, so community gardeners can come and drop off their produce, and then we put it up in our pantry that's in our patient lobby, and then the excess that we can't distribute goes to food pantries. People in the community, even if they're not patients of ours, can come and get this fresh fruits and vegetables.
In their lobby, they have an area where they have a cooler and they have shelving. So you don't have to be coming for an appointment. Anybody can walk in to get produce.
I work a lot with immigrant families. Most of my families are immigrant, so I know a lot of people here. I built relationships with them. It's very difficult for someone just to go and say, hey, I need food. So when you establish a relationship, it's more easy for them to ask for help.
You know, it's been huge for our community because we have a huge multicultural population in this town of 6,500 now. You know, to introduce them to some of our eating habits and what we like, and in turn, you know, it's been fun for us to learn what their eating habits are.
We live in a really diverse community, so a lot of times we don't have all of the educational materials and information available in all the different languages. Probably the biggest barrier is communicating to populations that speak a different language than I do, and being able to relay the information, help them understand what it is we're doing. I think that our community has something really unique in our volunteers. Last year had 131 volunteers in this project that did over 1,000 hours of service. The biggest thing that our Voices for Food page has done is to personalize the story of Voices for Food. We tell stories about our volunteers, we tell stories about the people that are engaged in the process, and that personal story brings a lot of people to your page. And I think the more that you can work with your volunteers, engage them, over-celebrate their successes, over-celebrate their impact, continually remind them of all of the good work that we're doing.
It's amazing because I love the volunteers here. They're the ones that give me energy and the ones that keep me going. This is where I come to recharge my batteries, because the folks who are here because they want to be here. So I would encourage people to look at the places that you do not think you would find volunteers, because that's often where the most volunteers are. Even people who would come here and probably use the food pantry. And we encourage them to come here and volunteer as well. There are a lot of people who contact us who say, you know, we don't really want a handout. We're happy to earn whatever we get. And that's where a lot of our volunteers came from. We have people who will literally be in line and they will hop out of the line and come help us haul boxes.
Get some Master Gardeners. That's a national organization. They have to have volunteer hours. We also have involved the other churches to get volunteers, and it's pretty much a group of people that love to garden.
So our volunteers come through our Master Gardener. She recruits a lot of people through the Master Gardener program. We've connected with local colleges and had college students come out. We have homeschool associations that come out and work in the garden. We have just a group of committed volunteers that are engaged and have a heart for this and really go above and beyond and put in a lot of time and effort and hours.
One of the main things that we've done is train their volunteers. So we've done this 40 hours of volunteer training with them on the concepts of health and health equity and social determinants of health. So then those volunteers then can go and relay that information back to the clients. And by educating everyone in this value of health, we can begin to make that culture shift.
We've got great people, great volunteers. It's actually become an educational force so that our volunteers and our benefactors and our donors actually understand what the needs of the clients that we're trying to help really are.
We really want to create encounters where we can create conversations between the volunteer and the client coming in and receiving food. So we do that in a way where the volunteer bags their food, walks beside them, talks with them about what they like to eat.
When I think of volunteers, it isn't just that we want their time. We also want them to bring their talents, to bring their work experience, to bring their history and their energy.